Hello, dear viewers. Welcome once again to another episode of
Long story short.
Oh, it's long story short.
Co-host Zoya.
Clearly, I'm a newbie here, but today we want to talk about something that's very interesting.
Yes.
Boundaries. Boundaries with that marker pen, that thick boundary. What comes into your mind when you hear the word boundaries? What are those? But what are boundaries? We are in 2024.
Yeah.
Let me just first ask you, when was the first time you heard of this word boundary?
In English, as spelling.
Yeah, and like it was given the definition. Whatever.
So imla spelling. Spell the word boundary. B-O-U and evil. Like that's how I knew the word. My first interaction with boundary. But the meaning of boundary, that's a different conversation. I think somewhere in campus. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I understood. Yeah. The meaning of boundary. Because as a kid, I don't think I understood that. What I know is, as a kid, when I used to refuse to hug people, my mom was just like, man, it's fine. Yeah,
she said it's fine.
I was not a hugger.
Oh, I love her.
I was not a hugger.
Okay.
It's very interesting. But before that, I forgot to ask you, how are you?
I'm fine, my friend.
But
I'm good. I'm okay. Don't worry. I'm good.
The worker, nilisema 100 days to go to 2025. How are you feeling so far? So far, so good. About the year and...
What? Zile vitu niliandika pale kama New Year's resolution. I'm not so feeling so. By there, to be honest,
TBH.
I'm not really excited that the year is about to end.
Really?
There are so many things I'd have wanted to achieve this year that I have not. Including setting thick boundaries in some places. So, but don't call safari. Yeah. But sunsets are indications that beautiful endings can be beautiful.
Yes, that's
so
what
I don't know how this
2024
will end.
And at the end of this month, we are supposed to sit down for Q3 review. Yeah.
Well, it is fine. I mean, and then apart from that, something that I learned when I was doing my, let's say, resolution or recapping my year, I learned that yes, my monitoring and evaluation. There are things I learned that I had not planned to do that I have done. Yeah. They were not part of my schedule that I've done.
We're pretty hard on ourselves,
right?
Yeah, we're pretty hard on ourselves.
So actually going back on it, I'm grateful.
Because off camera, I'll tell you a lot of things that I feel you have done. You just don't see it.
Thank you for saying off camera.
Yeah,
Tebu turudi kwa boundaries.
It's definitely off camera. What do you mean? It's definitely off camera. But uko salama.
Niko salama.
You're healthy, you're alive.
Yeah, I'm healthy. I'm happy.
Yes, you are happy.
I'm happy. Don't tell them why, but I'm happy.
It is showing.
How are you? Please, how are you?
Niseme nisisema. Sema. Niseme nisiseme. Sema.
Just tell us how you are and leave me alone. Tell me how you are. How are you?
I am happy. I am happy. I'm a light, alive, awake, enthusiastic. I'm a light, alive, awake, enthusiastic. Kuimba nitaimba. Mjue na mjue sahi. No, I am very happy because when the year set off, I had said I wanted to listen, and I've really done just that. Yeah, to listen to yourself, to listen to the Lord, to listen to your people. Half the time, a lot of things are lost in translation because we do not listen. We are either in a hurry to say what's in your mind or in a hurry to go do something else that you feel is very important. So yeah, listening has really, and I have loved. I have spent QT time with my people. What is something that has really significantly, what's the word? Significantly change how you view life this year?
Significantly. Two things. I've mentioned this to you before. One thing that has like really changed my perspective of life is when I learned, it's always been there in the Bible. I'm a Jesus girl. So
Mtumi, she, anatumika.
Nitairusha.
Podcast ya long story short.
So this verse that says, if God is for us, who can be against us?
Oh, yeah. That
like just learning that deeply, that God is not against me. Like things might not go the way I'd have loved them to go, but God is not against me. Like God is on my side 100%. So that really changed my perspective, number one. the other thing that has like really changed the way I see things is look, God is not me and you. We cannot like put him in a box. And that one is like closely tied to the things that I said I did not expect. I did not see them on my radar this year. And they came and they have been like very beautiful blessings.
When you are planning, because you planned, for sure.
Yes, I did plan. Hey, if there's a year I planned for, it's this year. And if there's other things did not go there, I planned for.
This fun fact, we actually planned on 31st December.
Yes.
Yeah, we met. Shout out to Jackie and Marion.
Yes. Yeah. So that is one thing that has like really been keeping me excited and happy that God is not against me. And I'm not going to limit him again. I'll just let him
lead.
Yes. Acha afanye venye anapenda.
Acheze kieye.
Yes.
I think for me is we really are on borrowed time, and why something that has really informed the time I spend with my people has been, for once I experienced death with respect to life moves on. Like I lost one of my G's. That really threw me off.
I'm so sorry about that. Yeah.
Like, and if you know him, you know him. Like it's crazy. That if I die today, we will cry, but yote tisa kumi, one of his favorite sayings. I mean, we have got to move. Yeah, we have got to move, and it is what it is. If your husband or wife or kid or father or mother or sibling dies or friend,
life moves on.
Yeah, you
Quite
cry,
sad,
you cry,
right?
you cry, you remember, but again, yote tisa kumi, we have to move on.
You know, I saw something today morning. Someone had posted, I think, on their status that 2 years from now or whatever time, you will look back and you'd say, I wish I had a good time. So please have a good time.
There's no time like the present.
Yes, so just have a good time. Have a good time.
There's no time like the present. I think one of the best qualities that the Lord has blessed me with is I live in the now. If I want to do something, whether or not people are coming on board, that is their business. Like if I want to go on a trip and I've invited X people, if they come, they come. If they don't come, I'm still going on that trip, and it's
I
on
love
period.
that about you, by the way.
Yeah, I think, in fact, okay, you know, you're the one who reminded me of that. I didn't know that's something that I do. If people are joining, we open our WhatsApp group, you're going somewhere. If you don't go,
you will go.
If you go,
well and good.
Just another day in
Would have been
life.
happy to have you on board, but now that you're not coming, we are still going.
Itawapea memories.
Sindio.
Check out my Instagram stories. And I think another thing that I learned, because I think in the previous episodes I was really struggling with a couple of my friendships, and I think nilikumbushwa na Mungu. Pastor Papu has done a very fantastic sermon on loving. I'm forgetting the title of that sermon, but it's we love because God loved us first. And then we love others because God loves us. So you need to know that love is not from you. Hence, you cannot sustain it. You need someone else to sustain it. Yeah, because I was struggling with a couple of friends who, okay, not a couple, just one, who did who did a few things that I don't agree with. And you know, you are a reflection of the people you keep around. So yeah. And no, I'm not going to have that conversation with them.
Okay.
Avoidance is where it's at. The boundary is avoidance.
Wewe tutakurudisha hapa. Let's talk about boundaries for a hot minute. What are boundaries? What are boundaries to you? You said you first heard of the word boundaries in...
Back to you. Back to you,
Back to me. What are boundaries?
Yes.
From my experience, first of all, confession, you always tell me, confession is good for the...
soul, but bad for your reputation.
For your reputation. Yes, so for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, I am here to let you know that I am a recovering people pleaser. I have struggled.
Yeah, you have.
I have struggled with drawing boundaries, setting boundaries, and
even sticking to them. Because sometimes you set a boundary, but because well,
like Sini Jojo, I mean, what to do?
I mean, it's been 15 years.
Yes.
We are friends.
So I've come to learn that boundaries are physical, emotional, or mental limits.
Hello.
The word is limit. Actually, the word is limit. So we can just say, ukisawizo vitu zote, just know boundaries are limits. So these limits could be physical, emotional, or mental limits that you set for your own personal well-being.
Yes, you set, not somebody else.
So yeah, maybe just to break it down for 1 second, like mental limits or mental boundaries could be, I don't watch certain things because they're not good for me. I don't listen to certain music.
Read certain books.
Yeah, because they make me feel some type of way that I do not want. So that could be a mental limit.
Yeah.
Yes. A physical boundary could include there are places that I do not go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are places that you will catch me dead before I get there. And then emotional could happen. Maybe that's where friendships and family and things, because emotions usually play in when we relate with people. So emotional boundaries come in when I say I'm not going to allow my family to speak to me in a certain way.
Or jokes.
Yeah. Yes. There are jokes I'm not condoning in this friendship.
Yeah, like if I am okay, guys, fat is fat. Like, let's just call it what it is.
But why do you have to tell me I'm fat?
No, I mean, as in, it's the way, if you use the word fat, people get mad.
I agree with people who get mad when they're called fat.
No, I'm not calling you fat. I'm saying if you are fat, and now people use that, anytime they want to make a joke about Jojo, they center it around my weight and how I am fat. No. You set up a boundary and say, these jokes are not funny.
Yes.
So we are not going to speak about my weight.
Jojo, do you know, I saw something the other day. Someone said that, unfortunately, we've gotten to a point where we use jokes to pass information. It's like, silly, what two jokes? It's actually not a joke. That is how you mean it. We use jokes and pranks.
That's how you that's what you think about me.
Yes, which is so wrong. And this is what I usually, because I meant...
Okay, but not my friends. As we joke about everything.
Yeah, sipoa though, but we are not going to go there.
Where there are limits.
Yes, with jokes, but with limits.
We cannot be making jokes about your dead mom.
Yeah, we can't make... this is usually my nini for jokes. Please don't joke about anything that I can't change.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep telling young people, even when it comes to like body shaming or even commenting about people's looks and how they look, I tell them, please don't talk about something that someone cannot change in 5 seconds. Okay. Advice. Yes, we can talk about the skuma in my teeth. Hey, and you have green teeth.
Brush your teeth.
See, that can be a joke. See, I can brush. That's do the night talker. But
na leo umekula sana.
But don't joke about my weight. I cannot change my weight in 5 seconds.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, don't joke about my pimples. You know, don't joke about my brown hair or my whatever. Family. Yeah, don't joke about my family. Don't joke about my wayward sibling or my. I
cannot control my wayward sibling.
Or my mom, she's outrageous on stuff like that. I don't know. But if you know my mom to be outrageous or whatever, don't joke about that. I can't do anything about that. Yes. Okay. So boundaries are limits. They could be physical, emotional or mental. Yes.
Okay, so types of boundaries. We can start with either of them.
Types of boundaries.
Yeah, we can start with either of them. But let's start with the physical. Have you had the privilege of setting a boundary? Because
a physical boundary?
Yes, because it can also lean into the workplace and beyond body shaming. There's also touch.
Hey, hapo kwa physical and work and stuff.
Distance. Personal space. Watu mzoe kitu inaitwa personal space.
I know.
Just because you see me hugging Casey doesn't mean I hug you too.
I'm a hugger. Sindio?
I might be a hugger, but I don't hug you. I'm not. Whomst are you? Who are you? What are you?
Yeah, I've set physical boundaries with a colleague.
Male or female?
A male colleague. Yeah, a male colleague. I had to. By that time, I didn't even know it was a boundary I was setting. I just thought I was just being outright. We don't do that here.
What was happening?
My colleague used to watch porn. Yeah, my colleague used to watch porn, and one time they actually...
And just pause. Let me say this, because people are like, porn is not bad. If it is not bad, why are you not watching it in the open? I mean... See, it is not bad. Let us walk into your home and find you watching porn. Why must you hide?
Oh, on a big screen.
The fact that you are hiding is why I'm saying it's part of the problem. If it is a very, very good thing that is helping the society, why are you not watching it in public? Why are you not saying, my name is Jojo and I watch porn? Why is it something that you have to say, unajua na watching porn? Like,
situache yuko kwa episode ingine yaki, please.
Tukumbushe watu bana. Hiyo ni mchezo gani? Anyway, he was watching porn.
Yeah, and I kept asking him, nini yenye unafanyanga unashinda umeficha. Then one time they actually came and dragged me and...
Dragged?
Yeah, alinivuta. So the boundary was...
Without your consent?
Yeah, the nini is another thing. What is it called? The
exposure to porn.
Yeah, the exposure to... Because I actually just had a glance. Like, I just glanced on... Like, I didn't watch. I just glanced. And unfortunately, porn is that bad because that memory is still in my mind. That was 2013. I was not even...
They say after how many years are you detox from porn? I can't remember.
Yeah, but 10 years later, I still have that image. And I just
now
glanced. Yes. But my boundary was me telling my colleague, me usinisishikwangu hivyo.
First things first, usinivute anywhere.
Usinivute na usinishike. Yeah, and I think I also had to set a boundary.
Don't touch me, don't pull me.
Yeah, I also had to set a boundary with someone who once like hugged me from behind. I was like, you don't do that. Nali kwa dem. You do not do that. I hate that.
A dem is a babe.
Yeah, a dem is a babe. Yes. And also
female.
Yeah, they say who uses matatu? Poor people.
Leo, let me just give you, let me segue, let me digress. Leo tumekuja hapa na ile kitu umeita nini?
Ubabaridi.
Google what ubabaridi is, guys.
Ubabaridi ni motorcycle bana. Okay, it's just
bike cycle. It's a motorcycle.
It's a motorcycle. It's a
boat.
That's when you say motorcycle, it's very demure, very cutesy, very mindful.
It's a boat.
So with the touts, I had to tell like usinishike. Like that's a physical boundary that I set every time.
And they get mad.
Yes. Madam usinishike. Nikitoka kwangu nilikuwa najua mali.
And I don't even know why people like get into a whole argument with these people. Set a boundary, and why are you explaining it?
Yes, just sema tu usinishike na move on.
Usinishike and keep it pushing. Akikushika tena, then now there's a problem.
Sindio?
Yeah.
It's not with him, not you.
Yeah, with him. Because you just say usinishike. Iyo mnatibado. Ati kama usinishike on period.
Imeisha.
On period. Just cap it at that. Don't get into nini. I think while we are on physical boundaries, like I said, if your kids don't want to hug people, I beg, see must. Nini. Must they hug every auntie?
But we are not confusing kids we are not talking about bad-mannered kids who don't say hi to people.
Yeah.
When you're nakatanga kusalimia watu.
Kusalimia watu si hug. If a kid respectfully says hi, I mean, it's a necessary. And I know I used to get a lot of, growing up, I used to get a lot of, what's the word? I used to be chastened a lot for it. Like people would go like, mbona hug what? But I'm just like, I don't get it. But I used to hug other people. But there are people who are just feel like, no. A kid, we really underestimate that kids are not fools. There's like a vibe. I used to just feel like, this one I can hug, this one I can't hug. Yeah, and the people who are not being hugged are the ones who had the most problem with them not being hugged. And if you are a parent, it's very important for you to ask yourself, Rada, why is it that they can hug sister Y and sister X is where they draw the line?
Yeah, alafu nikuulize, let me ask, have you found yourself in a situation where you had to set a physical boundary with a known person? Like someone you're familiar with, not a stranger?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, let's talk about if you belong in any community, say even the church, and they're used to, every time anyone comes in, they hug each other. I remind people all the time, no. Habari yako to me, mtu wa Mungu, do not come at me. No, but yes, that is my friend. You are not my friend to that extent. Like, we do not do that here.
But how about a friend? Like someone who's like familiar with you?
But familiar, okay, that is familiar in the sense of they see me every Sabbath morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But a friend, no. A friend who I had to say, don't touch me. What I know is, tunacheka unacheka.
Hi there, Nani. Where?
What is that? You hit yourself. They're hitting. Hit yourself. Like, why? Must you hit? Don't. You're on physical violence, baby.
We are no longer laughing.
Like
self-violence.
Such a joyous occasion. You have now turned it to slapping people left, right, and center. You are happy. Please be happy with your own body. What is that?
Be happy over there.
That I have said. I have a cousin who, you do not laugh next to this ninja. Hapa. You will receive your
with red marks.
Hapa. Tukianza tu kupiga story kila mtu anaoka wewe kwa zile za kato hapo babako ako na yako tupigie story kwa hapo ndio akicheka agonge kiti vile anataka. Can eat the chair? Yeah, that is the most physical boundary I have set up.
How about
even at work? I've not had colleagues who misinappropriately touched or looked at me. Even I think, when was it that I was speaking to someone who was telling me, when somebody is standing over your desk, most of the places I work in, people do not lean in, because when you are leaning in, you're also covering someone's personal space. They just stand and look at the computer.
Hey, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that, because I
think it was you I was telling, and I was genuinely surprised that there are
when
people
I was telling you my story.
Yeah, it was years ago. I remember, because I was like, I'm genuinely surprised that is not the norm, because always I know you stand. What do you mean? What are you leaning towards?
We used to. I know a boss, sorry to say, would like come and like lean over. It was very.
And even when they want
and then
to
the fact that he's your boss used to just make it worse.
And that is a problem, because even when they want to lean in, they'll say, "May I? May I take over?" So you move aside, and then they take over. I was genuinely surprised at people who lean on people. I don't even lean on women.
Just come to your office and he's there at your desk, and his head is over there.
And this is the person who's paying your salary. So you cannot go like, bwana officer,
tafadhali, please. Yes. So that's quite hard.
So how about anyone who has to go through that? But I'm saying, if you have the privilege of having HR services, I mean, it's a conversation that you can have, and I highly recommend hire consult. Ita watu wasaidie organization yenu, like to come and there are people who do these things not knowing that it is inappropriate. Because now you are in my personal space, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. You are breathing, I can smell your breath, I can smell your...
Yeah, maybe two salivas are anguka in here and there.
It's too much.
Too uncomfortable.
It's too much, yeah.
So that's it with physical boundaries. How about like mental boundaries? Have you set mental boundaries for yourself?
Yes, what you watch, what you see, what you read. Even conversations. You remember, there's a time we were sitting somewhere.
Me and you.
Yes, me and you.
We've sat so many places.
I know. A group of people. I can't say the details because mtajua ni wapi. And some things were said, and I remember later we were just like, that was such unnecessary information. And I remember telling you, henceforth, I cannot interact with this person. Because now, I am privileged to information I feel I do not need. And I could not leave because that was space that was my space. Yes, because... So the mental boundary was in just saying, I can no longer hang out with Casey. Yes, I cannot.
Yes,
unless we are doing a project, or we are running a campaign, or we have clear set boundaries that we are doing. Because, I mean, these are people that I will still work with professionally or otherwise. But sitting to banter, we banter about things that are irrelevant. Yeah. Well, and therefore I live there with nonsense.
Yeah, that's and you know what? It's easier said than done. To send a mental boundary, especially with people that... Your loved ones. People that your friends, people that you like and love for that fact. And tell yourself
who have other nice qualities.
And I have noted a trend that, for instance, Jojo is just always... maybe she's very good. She's overly critical of everything.
That's the thing.
And I don't like that. Like, it affects me. Like, as in, you cannot criticize everything. When you don't see good things.
Suddenly, you wonder why you are in a space and you are the one who is criticizing everything.
Yeah.
You wonder how.
And then we refuse this when people tell us that you are the average of 5 people that you hang out most with.
You're a reflection of the people you see that by beholding you become.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Apple core mental boundaries, and you know one thing as well, like this thing of whatever you watch, you see, kind of like really influences.
A lot.
It does, and
Did I've not noted just say in the last episode that because we have been taught fried foods are really nice, when you make it, you stop eating foods that are good for you because you have been seeing that happy people are the ones who are drinking soft drinks,
who can afford mojitos.
Yes. So, and because that is the messaging, and it ingrains something in you. You were saying,
yeah, I have come to learn that's a fact you can't ignore. By the way, the things you watch, the things that you actually listen to, those things have a way of getting to your subconscious mind and staying there. Like, you know, the other day, I was just seated in my house. I was very annoyed with the person who lives above me. They are playing this bongo song. Nimechoka kupiga honi na
beep beep. The
problem is not the song.